In today's video, I'm going to show you how to scale up your Substack notes, write more Substack notes, write higher quality Substack notes using AI. And you're going to be using the Claude skill that I designed for writing Substack notes, and it's the one I use for my own Substack, for my own Substack notes. Okay. So this Substack notes skill that I created is based off of some of the top creators on Substack and their types of notes that they do, my own notes, and broken down into 10 different psychological triggers that it's going to choose to generate like 20 Substack notes based off of whatever it is you're working on. Okay. So before we take a look at the actual note there, or the actual skill, let's take a look at my Substack just so you can see the types of notes that are produced from it, because I use this Claude skill for my own Substack notes. All right. So if you take a look at my Substack, you're going to see I have a lot of different ones. I have more long form ones like here. I have quick one-liners. I have, more like behind the scenes or built in public or personal stories. I have these bullet point type notes. I have the problem and solution type framework for the notes. We got the like binary camp 1 and camp 2. So basically, just to show you, I use this skill to generate all of my Substack notes that do really well. Okay. So to do this, below I'm gonna include a link. You're gonna get to my page where I have the Substack notes skill here. All right. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to download this zip file and then put it into Claude. But I also have just the kind of read-only version here just for you to read and see what's in the skill, because you should always read these skills that you're using. Same applied to prompts back when we were using a lot more prompts. You should read it. You should understand how it's structured, what's inside of it, and it's going to really help you, because all of my skills, or most Claude skills, but specifically all of mine that are built around writing operations and stuff, a lot of them are formatted and structured the same way. You're going to see some patterns that might help you create your own as well. All right, but what we have here is the Substack notes skill to generate high performing Substack notes using proven structural patterns in psychology. All right. And this is going to generate 20 high performing Substack notes by applying proven structural patterns and psychological techniques, like I told you, from reverse engineering some of the best Substack creators, specifically the ones who do really well with Substack notes. All right. And if you're not familiar with Claude's skills, once you put this into Claude, you don't really need to invoke it. I mean, you can invoke it by just saying, which is what I'm going to show you here in a minute. I'm going to just tell Claude I need to create some Substack notes based off of this newsletter here. It's going to invoke it. But also with Claude skills, they can invoke themselves. So, if you're working on something, it might invoke itself and say, would you like to build Substack notes out of this? Or, at the end of a long chat that you're working on, you can also just tell it, let's build some Substack notes based off of everything we just worked on, right? It's very flexible. It doesn't have to be a newsletter. It can be voice notes. It could be anything that you want to build these off of, okay? And what we're going to do, you're going to read through here, and it's going to give these step-by-steps of what the skill is doing. What I want to focus on here is it's going to understand the goal at hand for the Substack note, and then it's going to choose a type, all right? So I have 10 types here based off of 10 really types of high-performing Substack notes. Things like single punch wisdom, which is a powerful quotable statement. We have income proof, pattern observation, contrarian statement. We have the problem and solution, like I talked about, or also building in public, the list-based tactical notes, vulnerable personal stories, philosophical observations, and direct advice. And then if you don't know which one you want, don't worry. Claude will choose which ones are the most applicable to whatever it is you're working on. Also important, it's not going to create, it's probably not going to create each and every one of these 10, because that just wouldn't make sense. Maybe you're doing something that has nothing to do with income, so it's not going to try to force an income, an income proof story type note, right? It's going to just look at your context and know which ones are most applicable, and then generate the notes based off of that, okay? And then it's going to go through, and we're telling this Claude skill to apply all these different structural formulas for the notes for each type, all right? And then we have, formatting for Substack. We have some best techniques. We have length guidelines, actual examples of good notes, all right? Then we have what to avoid. We tell it to avoid vague generalities, humble bragging, clickbait without payoff, generic advice, corporate voice. Then we put the Claude skill through a quality checklist to make sure everything looks great and pro tips. And then really the workflow summary is what you can see exactly what is going to happen here. So, number one, it's going to understand the context, what context preceded this skill being invoked. It's going to then understand the goal, what's the message, choose the note type, apply the formula, write in the user's voice based off of whatever it's building on top of. So, if you're using your newsletter as the basis for the notes, it's going to use your voice from the newsletter, your voice dictation notes, whatever it is that you're using. It's going to run through a quality check at the end and then deliver the note. And then remember that this skill gives you proven structures in psychology that work on Substack, all right? So that's the entire note right there, okay? That's the entire Claude skill. Now you're going to come here to the page I'm giving you, and you are going to download this skill right here, the zip file, all right? You're going to just click on it. It'll automatically download to your computer. And you need these zip files for Claude skills. When you upload to Claude, which I'm going to show you now, it needs to be a zip file. So you have the file. You just saw it. It just downloaded. And we're going to go back over to Claude now. I'm going to start a new chat here. And what you're going to do to upload it, just a quick rundown if you're not familiar with skills. You're going to go to Settings, Capabilities. All right, you're going to scroll all the way down to Skills. I'm going to delete it because I already have it there. So you're going to scroll all the way down to Skills here. This is your library of Claude skills. You're going to hit Upload Skill, or you can also just drag it from your downloads. Okay, so I'm just going to drag the Substack Notes skill into here, the zip file. It has to be a zip file. I have it formatted already perfectly for Claude. You should run into no problems. It's going to be accepted. And you're going to now have this Substack Notes skill here to generate high-performing notes. Now, just to show you how it works, let's go back here. Let's start a new chat with Claude Sunday 4.5. And let's just say I want to create notes based off of my latest newsletter. Let's go over to Substack. I have this announcement video newsletter I did for the new AI Writer Ops. So welcome to AI Writer Ops. Let's just take that, all of that here. Let's go back to Claude. And now you can literally tell it, like, I'm going to speak to it and say, generate Substack notes based off of my latest newsletter. All right. And then we just can paste that there. And then you're going to see that it's going to automatically recognize that we want Substack notes. It's going to invoke the skill. All right. See, it's going to create several Substack notes based on my newsletter. Let me read the skill file first. Now it is reading the Substack notes skill to follow best practices, okay? And then it's going to generate the 20 notes. So based on your newsletter relaunch, I'll create several high-performing Substack notes using different structural patterns. Each serves a specific strategic purpose for your relaunch. Then you can see we have like contrarian statements. Most AI writing advice is teaching you to be mediocre faster. Here's 10 prompts for social media. Try this hack for better content. Copy this template. That's not AI writing. That's AI slop with extra steps. Real AI writing is context engineering, etc. You'll recognize it's kind of speaking exactly what my content is based around, my voice. We have problems and solutions. Your AI writing sounds generic because you're using it wrong. Pattern observation, income proof stories. So it really hit like all 10 here, I think, for me. All right. So then we have, recommendation for your launch strategy. You can ignore this. Sometimes the AI gets crazy and starts talking about random stuff. But that is how we're going to use the Substack notes skill. I just realized now that in the skill, we tell it to generate 20 notes, but it looks like it hit its limit here and did 8. That's fine. Just if you need more, you can simply just tell it to generate more and it will. But yeah, that's it. That's how you use it. Make sure to download it, save it somewhere, or bookmark my Notion page here for the Substack skill. If you're a Substack creator or, that hasn't had the time or hasn't really gotten into Substack notes, now's your chance. You really should be, of course, before you lose the opportunity, because it's the window's closing fast. Also, if you're somebody who's new to Substack or wants to start writing on Substack, put this in your toolkit because it's a very powerful skill. And it's just the first of many, many, many Claude skills that we're going to be covering here on AI Writer Ops going forward for all sorts of different AI writing operations. All right. So we'll go into Twitter, X, we'll go to LinkedIn, we'll go through all of these. But yeah, make sure to download this, save it somewhere safe, and start creating these high quality Substack notes.